My name is Sydney Lulanga. I'm a tutor for computer literacy. As we begin this tutorial, let's look at the learning outcomes. The learning outcomes are the competencies that you attain at the end of the tutorial or end of the course. At the end of this tutorial, you should be able to demonstrate computer literacy skills. You should be able to illustrate information technology appreciation in problem solving. Now this course looks at mostly IT, information technology. And in information technology, there are different types of computers. There are modern computers. You can see from that picture, one of the devices that was not there before is the phone, the smartphone. So look at that in detail as we go on. So these digital devices, they help us to read and process information in a series of individual bits of data or bytes of data rather than as a continuous stream. Now the digital, it's a change from the analog. If we compare the two, we'll notice that the analog, for example, the tape recorders, some of the old televisions, television sets, they were analog. They work in a certain way, and when you look at the digital, it looks at bytes, and the analog is a continuous stream. In computers, there are different types of computers. There are what you call desktops. There are also laptops. There are iPads. But the major difference between the makes of the computers, there's what you call Windows, and then there's also the Macintosh. So the computers, we use them in our everyday life. We use them at home. We use them at school. We are using them right now in a line of work. And we may be using a Macintosh, or we may be using the Windows computers. Now the Windows and the Macintosh, the difference is mostly the operating system. That's the principal difference, the operating system. Now, what is an operating system? An operating system is a software that enables computers to run other software or other softwares, and to run basic tasks of these softwares. So we see that in Windows, there's what you call Microsoft Windows operating system, and in Macintosh, Macs were made by the Apple computers. They use operating system called Mac operating system that only runs on Macintosh computers, and it's different from the Windows. Now, Windows and Macintosh operating systems, the systems are not compatible. You cannot use your computer that is using Windows, then you put the Mac operating system and hoping that it will run, or vice versa. So these computers, they cannot run the same software. Software may be found now that can run both versions. You find that the Mac may let you run a Windows software. Okay. Now there are different operating systems. There's what you call, these are based on the graphic user interface. The graphic user interface system we find that there's graphic user interface, there's software interface. This allows users to interact with a piece of software by selecting items from the screen to execute a command rather than typing in commands to perform tasks. Okay, so you can just use a mouse, you pick a certain piece of software or item from the screen, and you click or double click on it, then it does certain things that you want it to do. So it's easier to use. Sometimes as we are working on a document, you can see what it looks like before printing it through these commands. It wasn't like that before, but now we are able to use that. So the operating systems are constantly being changed, being improved upon, being upgraded as technology advances. There are two most popular operating systems today, both built around the graphic GUIs. So the Windows operating system, it's developed by Microsoft. The Mac, as we have said, it's developed by Apple. Macs are mostly favored by artists and designers for their multimedia and graphic capabilities. Then we have what you call cross-platform, that are able to use the operating systems of Macintosh and also Windows. The operating systems, you find that the most important program on any computer is the operating system. It's a large program made up of smaller programs. It controls how the CPU communicates with the hardware. CPU, when we talk about the CPU, what we are talking about there is that it's a central processing unit. It's the brain of the computer. It controls the information and it tells other parts what to do. So you should understand what a CPU is. And then we have BIOS, basic input-output systems, responsible for waking up the computer when you turn it on. It reminds it of all the parts it has and what they do. Okay, and then we have DOS, the disk-based operating system. Operating system contains other programs, not as important but necessary. Now this picture here will give you an example of how a Mac desktop looks like. You can see on there that there's the menu, there's also the bar, there's a hard drive there. You can see a number of items which you can use. There's also the PowerPoint there, like the one that we are using now. Okay, and if you look closely there, you see a number of items there which can make a lot of sense when you look at the computer next time. It's all written in there. You can see movies, you can see a number of items. Then we move on. The Windows desktop, you look at it there, it can be more than this, but we are just showing the basics. You have the documents, you have the my computer there, you have the recycle bin, you have the mouse pointer, like the mouse pointer that we are using now, and then a number of items in there. Now when we you are turning on and off the computer, for example, log off, you log off the current user, turn off the computer, you are shutting it down. You can also restart the computer, you can put the computer on standby, you can access installed programs, you can run, you can use manually executable files, you can search. When you click on my computer, it will give you access to your computer's disk drives. When you click on the music, It will give you, it will open up a folder for your music, your movies, whatever you can call it, my videos, my pictures, recent documents. Those are the documents that you have just worked on, and then my documents, or the documents that you have installed in there. Now if you look at this picture here, it will show you the control panel. Okay, and then in the control panel you see a number of features in there, and if you click on any of them, for example, if you click on time and date, then it means that it will show you, you can adjust your date, you can adjust your time, and then printer or other hardware, it will give you the printers and other hardware, then you can adjust the or change certain things. So here in the control panel, it will give you all the software that you need. Now there's a difference between a desktop and a laptop PC. For a desktop, it's easier to upgrade a desktop. It's also designed to be left in one location. It can add more than one memory. It can have a full-size keyboard. It has a larger monitor, a desktop. Those are the advantages of a desktop. Now a laptop, you cannot be moving with your desktop from point A to point B. For example, the computer that I'm using now is a desktop. It stays here. A laptop, it's portable. I can carry it from point A to point B. They are smaller screens. They have been upgraded now. They are very powerful. We also have what you call a compact keyboard. Then the interesting part is that some of the laptops are quite expensive, and some of them, even the upgrading can be challenging. Now there are also what you call handheld devices, PDAs. These computers are small enough to hold in your hands. You have seen a number of people having smaller computers, iPads, even smartphones have taken some features of the computers. These are personal digital assistants. Now what you use them for example, you can use them for appointments, you can use their addresses, you can be on social platform, you can save some notes, you can take some pictures, you can even connect them to your PC, you can connect to the internet, you can use them as phones or wireless for internet purposes. They are very powerful machines. Now let's look at servers. A server is part of the computer that manages files and other resources for a network. A network, there are several PCs connected to a single server. Some servers are no bigger than a PC, others are much larger and they are more powerful. For example, the picture that we are seeing there, it's a picture of a server. There are two different types of servers that we can see. One that looks like a PC, the other one that looks like those shelves. So some this time it's not really the size that matters, it's really the capacity. Okay. We can also connect a printer to a server, where people can be remotely connected, and everybody who is remotely connected can also print through the server. Okay, we can also connect a scanner to a server. We can also have internet through the server. Okay, we can have emails, we can have intranet. Okay, now there are some devices that we also need to also learn about. There's the input and the output devices. The input devices are those that we use for any information that we enter into a computer. That is called an input. You can name any kind of two input devices on a PC. For example, a keyboard, we enter text through a keyboard. A mouse, we select options. Those are two input devices. We use them to enter commands by selecting items. Mouse input devices. We have a mouse there. You see the picture of a mouse, or two pictures of a mouse. There's also a mouse on a keyboard that we can use. There are two buttons on PC, Windows PC. Single button mouse for the Mac, and then we have a small wheel that helps to roll the mouse. And then if you right click on a Mac, control plus mouse click, you get something, and you can do a number of things with the mouse, as we can see. There is also the touch pad. The touch pad is flat built-in pad. You press and move your finger on a touch pad to move the sensor, as you can see there. Then there are also sound input devices, for example, that we have here, or sometimes it's inbuilt in a computer. There are microphones that we are using. You can record yourself on the phone, you can record yourself on the computer. You can also use the recorder there. There are also some digital recorders now. Then we also have what you call music keyboards, for example, an organ. You can use any of that. You can create music. You can even use, you can also create music on your computer. You don't need to have any extra instrument. Okay. There are also some digital still cameras that we still have, and also digital camcorders. These digital files that can be used to upload on a computer. There are also pictures and videos, images and sounds. Then there are webcoms. We use them to connect to the internet, to allow live broadcast over the web. They are quite cheap. They are good for teleconferencing. Okay, like the one that we are using now. Now the graphic tablet. The graphic tablet, if you look at that picture, you can be drawing something on your screen, and then it could be projecting on the computer screen. So it's a digitizing tablet or digitizer. You create sketches, drawings in a digital format. It displays on the computer screen. You draw on the tablet with pointing device. The tablet translates movements into digital signals and sends them to the computer. Now, scanners, they convert printed pictures or documents to a digital file that you can upload to a computer. We also have game controllers, game pads, race car wheels, joysticks. Those we use them in different formats or for different purposes. There are also output and display devices. These are any information a computer produces is called an output. Any information that goes into a computer is called an input. So we can see or hear the output. Then we also have monitors. There are two most common kinds of monitors. One is for seeing the text, graphic input. It also shows us the computer output, the monitors. We also have the cathode ray tube CRT desktop computer. Then we also have LCD, the liquid crystal display laptops. Now, if you look at that, we come back to what we were discussing in the previous slide here. What we are talking about, CRT, cathode ray tube, and then the liquid crystal display. If you look at this, we are comparing the two. You can see that CRT uses display technology that beams signals against the back of a screen, and LCD uses technology that displays text and images by passing electricity through a liquid crystal solution sandwiched between two magnetic sheets. Okay, so we can see the pictures that are given there. Okay, now there are also some touch screens. We have a good example, touch screens, output device display, and also an input device. Most of the phones now are touch screens. The ATMs, you sometimes, even when you want to buy a ticket, you can also use touch screens. Flat screens, most of the television sets today are touch screens, and there's a way that they work. For example, they display that they create images by passing electrical impulses through a neon or xenon gas mixture sandwiched between two sealed glass plates. And also there's high color depth, there's wide viewing angle from the flat screens. We also have projectors. We connect to a computer, and that helps us to see on a larger picture. Printers, there are mostly two types of printers. They produce a hard copy of what is on the computer. There's inkjet printer that sprays the ink on a paper through tiny nozzles. It's cheaper, it uses color, it may produce high quality text and graphics. It's a little bit slower. Laser printers, they use laser beam and magnetism to transfer fine powder called toner to the paper. They are more expensive. You can use color. They have better quality than the inkjet. The speakers, they help us. You can connect speakers to your computer. It allows to hear sound files. Laptops have inbuilt speakers. Desktops, they usually have detachable speakers. Now, the storage devices. Storage devices are important for saving and storing software that you use. They help to provide a means of saving your work. They save frequently. Some devices are built in, others are removable. They are mobile. There's mobility there. You can save your work on USB. You can save your work in a hard drive, and then you can use it in different places. You can move with it, or it could be inbuilt within the computers. But all computers have a hard drive storage system built in them. This is mostly for storing software and information. They have a disk that spins and stores data, and then it's not recommended to save all your work in the computer. You should also try to save your work in other storage. You should use other storage facilities. Now, the portable hard drives, they help to store files that can be used on more than one computer. Removable storage disks. Computers come with drives that can read and write information from removable disks. There are different ones. Today, mostly we use the flash drives, the USBs and the rest. So why do we need to save or store files on these kinds of disks? First, we need to save space on a hard drive of a computer. We can use it in different places. If you use your desktop at work, you can take and work at home. You can use it on your laptop. You can use it in future. You can use it on other computers. Those are examples of memory cards. Cameras today, phones, audio recorders, they all use them for storage. You can also take pictures, you can take videos, you can record movies, you can use anything for memory cards. Now it depends with the capacity of the memory card. Now files and folders, you do a lot of things with files. You create them, you name them, you save them, or you can delete them. There are common file extensions also that we need. So for example, a file may include that. A file address also includes a drive, a folder's name, a file name. For example, those examples that we have given in there. Okay, so in this tutorial, we have looked at a number of issues. We have looked at computer literacy, the basic information that we need to know about computers, and the importance of storing information, how to use computers effectively and efficiently.